Okay, so we're looking at 4.8, and the first thing we're going to do is figure out if something is a function or not by looking at its graph. Now, let me just draw an object here real quick. Let's say it looks like this. Okay. Now, what we're going to do to check and see if something is a function is whether or not it passes the vertical line test. And the vertical line test says that if you were to draw vertical lines all the way across this graph, each vertical line could only touch one spot of this graph. If any vertical line all the way across, if any one single vertical line all the way across touched more than one place on this graph, it would not be a function.
Not a function.
So is this a function?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any vertical line that would touch more than one place?
No.
And if so, where is it? I don't see one. If I draw vertical lines all the way through, each one of these lines touch one and only one place. And the arrowheads don't count, right? I mean, this is not two places, just to clarify. Okay? All right. What if I had something like, what if I had something like this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Is that a function?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Does it pass the vertical line test?
Nope.
No.
Okay, because there are a bunch of vertical lines I could draw here that would touch more than one place. Right there, so on and so forth, everywhere. Okay, so that is not a function. This is a function. So look at the bottom of page 256. Is the first one a function?
Yes.
Yes.
Is the second one a function?
Yes.
Yes.
Is the third one a function?
No.
No.
Is the fourth one a function?
No.
No.
Flip over to page 259. Look at number 11. Is 11 a function?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Is 12 a function?
No.
No. Is 13 a function?
No.
No. Where does it fail on number 13?
In the middle.
Straight down the middle, right? It hits 3 or 4 places there, right?
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
2,
Well,
3
two.
places, right? Okay?
Oh.
So if any vertical line, if any one vertical line hits more than one place on the graph, it is not a function. All right, the next thing we're going to do is a little bit of a review. Where did my eraser go?
4.8.
Which says whether or not something is a function by looking at an input-output table. Now, do you remember the definition of a function based on input-output table? The key phrase is that any one input cannot have more than one output. So any one input cannot have more than one output.
Like number
So, if I'm looking at example 1 here, the first one says it has 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the second one has 2, 4, 5. And it has these circles around them. This is representing input, this is representing output. And it says you put in 1, you get 2. You put in 2, you get 4. You put in 3, you get 4. You put in 5, you get 4. Is that a function?
Yes.
It is a function. Because no input has more than one output. Is there an output? Listen, is there an output that has more than one input associated with it?
Yes.
Yes, but that's okay. What's not okay is for one input to have 2 outputs that's associated with it. So no input can have more than one output. You can't put in 1 and get 2, and put in 1 and get something other than 2. That would not be a function. Okay? So this is a function. Let's look at example B there. It says same numbers, except for the arrows this time. Say 1, 5, or 1 this, down to here. And then it says 2 to here. And then it says 3 and that. Okay. So is this a function?
No.
Nope. This is not a function. There's something specific. There's a lot going on here. There's something specific that makes this not a function. Can you tell me what it is?
One.
One has two
One has 2 and 4.
Input 1 has an output of
2
2 and
4.
that's not a function. Is it a problem for the output 5 to have an input of 3 and 4?
No.
No. Is it a problem for 4 to have an output of 2 and 1?
No.
No. What's the problem?
One.
For 1 to have an output of 2 and 4. So one input cannot have more than one output. So now we can tell whether or not it's a function by looking at its graph, by the... what do we look for on a graph?
The lines you see in the touch.
The vertical. No?
Vertical line test. Okay, so if we look at a graph, we're going to do the
Vertical line.
vertical line test. Okay, see if any one vertical line would touch more than one place. If it does, it's not a function. And then we can use the definition that each input must only have one output.